Say we are top of the league. Say we are top of the league. We are top of the league. We are top. I think that's podcast over. No.
Well, it probably should be.
Yeah.
It's my birthday next week, and I couldn't even begin to tell you the last time we were top of the league mid-October. No idea.
No, I don't know.
So if we manage to stay top of the league till next week, I'm in dreamland.
We won't. That means we've got to beat Liverpool because Man City are going to score 55 against Southampton.
Yeah, that 9-0.
It's gone. It's gone.
I do feel sorry for Southampton. He scored another 2 tonight.
Right, has he? Right. Okay, so
at least, and that's the time of coming on here. He might have scored more. This
game, like Southampton, it's the kind of game that Southampton Football Club have probably already offered their travelling fans a refund. No disrespect to Southampton, I wouldn't fancy coming up against them now.
I mean, the problem is, like everyone keeps saying, we've not really played anyone very good. You know, I was watching the start of the City game earlier, and I turned off after they went 3-0 up. But it's Haaland doesn't do an awful lot.
Nope.
But then he just comes alive at the right moment, and that's it. He scored a goal. It's absolutely crazy. I'd hate to defend it.
He's just he's just a machine. He's 6'5" and like just such a powerful athlete.
Rapid. Yeah. Absolutely rapid.
You know, over the first 5 yards, which is
that's all it needs to be.
And his brain's obviously quick as well.
Yeah. Oh,
hang on. Stop. We've just beaten Spurs 3-1, and we spent the first 2 minutes eulogising about a player that doesn't even play for us.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when we have to wait 4 days.
Yeah. In my defence, where's the camera? I got ill.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, all perfectly reasonable, but it is a case of, you know, football. The narrative of football moves on so quick, doesn't it? That's the thing.
You know, look, as I've said to anyone who's been prepared to listen to me this week about football, which isn't that many people, in fairness, everyone after this weekend, because of City's win against United, is eulogising about Man City and Haaland and Phil Foden and De Bruyne and Gundogan and Silva and Grealish, and like, yeah, you rattled those names off, and it's like, bloody hell, it's like the Harlem Globetrotters of the Premier League, but they're still not top of the league. That's like that. Yeah, knock yourselves out. You know, 30 games to go.
I was thinking just earlier, actually, similarly, that I'm quite glad that Haaland is taking all that attention at City, because we can just go about our business doing what we do. There's bound to be bumps in the road, as there always is, but we can just enjoy it because no one is expecting us to win the league.
Yeah, there's no we're
just enjoying it. It's brilliant.
I mean, it is quite annoying that if it wasn't for Haaland, we'd have a chance at the title this year because everyone else is crap.
Well, yeah. I suppose looking at the other teams.
Well, they're inconsistent, like, you know.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
You know,
whereas
like
we, so far, are filling in those gaps where we might have tripped up last season, and that's only after 8 or 9 games. I know, but
well, I think this weekend is interesting. City play on Saturday, don't they? So we won't be top going into the game against Liverpool. What time's that kickoff? 4:30.
4:30.
I haven't looked at the fixture list. I'll get that up in a minute. But anyway, talk us through Tottenham Saturday.
Good, wasn't it? I was a bit worried when I was in the CAF on Holloway Road before, because they were taking a little while. They were very busy because it was an early kickoff and the pubs weren't open.
Big shout out for the Titanic on Holloway Road. Yes.
Big shout out, absolutely. And I was sort of worried that I'd miss all the build-up because I don't know what it's been a long time since I've wanted to get into the Emirates really early.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to, and I got in there, and where we were outside blocks, 7. Was it 6 or 7? 6.
It was block 6 where we were, where the atmosphere was.
Stood around. Okay, block 6. You couldn't get past because there was just so many people, and it was deafening.
The noise was, it brought me back to yesteryear when I'd often be found in front of the largest speaker in the nightclub at 3 a.m. For maximum impact.
Festivals and raves. That's why my hearing is certainly.
But it really was kind of almost hand cupping ears noise. Like I've not, it's difficult to compare, but I've not experienced a noise like that at the Emirates.
Not at the Emirates.
No.
So, and everyone just wants to be involved and join in and enjoy it, and it's all positive. It's all good.
Yeah, and there's no negativity at all.
It's so weird.
Like even my mate's gone quiet.
Yeah,
I did him a little wink there if he's listening.
So even when it got to the game, and the preamble, the song, which is really sort of taken.
Well, the team news was good. That was that kind of reassured me. So long as Partey was fit, that was
He's huge to our season.
I mean, he better not play tomorrow.
Oh God, no. You can get away with Xhaka. Xhaka's someone who seems to be able to sustain that level of performance and fitness and stuff. Partey, no. Lokonga should be made for the Europa League, really, to get those minutes.
Well, Lokonga and Vieira, and Nelly. It's a shame Elneny's not fit because it would be perfect for that three. That three in the middle would be perfect. And it basically would be able to rest. One game a week is a lot better than 2 games a week for certain players when you think about it. And it's like October becomes far less daunting if you were to tell me that Saliba, Ramsdale, Saliba, Ben White, Zinchenko, Erdegaard, Partey, Jesus, Martinelli, Saka. Those 9 players were playing once a week in October. I'd be like, yeah, go on then.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, we can have that.
One or two of them might have some run-outs, a few minutes.
Yeah.
To keep ticking over.
Well, Jesus, he shouldn't be anywhere near the team or the squad even, because he mustn't have been that badly injured because he was lapping up the applause after the game. So if they wouldn't have allowed him to do that if there was anything serious with him. But
Eddie and Ketia did the press conference earlier with Arteta.
All right. Oh yeah, I didn't hear. I haven't seen it.
I was just seeing a few updates on Twitter, and I assume he's going to lead the line.
Yeah.
Tomorrow against Bodo?
Yeah, I know, definitely, for sure. And I think Reece Nelson will start.
Yeah, Arteta was talking about him and saying, he's back in.
Well, he was on the bench, wasn't he? So he was warming up during the second half against Spurs. So Marquinhos will play. Reece Nelson will play, which means that Saka and Martinelli can both be rested from the start at least. I think they'll both be on the bench, and if we're not winning with 30 minutes to go, they'll both come on, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But Marquinhos, Eddie, and Reece Nelson, all with you think about that they should be so hungry. Like they really want to be a part of that first team squad. More minutes, and this is their chance. Vieira, I think, absolutely as well. Who plays in midfield then? It's going to be Xhaka, isn't it? Then Xhaka, Lokonga, and Vieira will be those 3 in the middle.
Yeah, and you can probably leave Lokonga as the deep line, allowing Xhaka to press forward the way he has been and doing so well. So kind of after that, kind of picks itself. I mean,
because there's no other. It's Patino's on loan. There's no other central midfielder, is there?
Not that I know of. No, not unless there's a kid.
Well, you start getting into Ben White in midfield and Zinchenko in midfield and things like that. Whereas you don't want those playing.
Ben White has played there for Leeds.
Well, I don't think. I especially with the game coming up on Sunday, Ben White should be on the bench.
No,
Cedric, I believe Cedric is in the squad.
Right.
I'll wait for confirmation on that, but I believe he's fit again, so he will play it right. He would play it right back, and Tomiyasu could go into the middle alongside Rob Holding for minutes, and Tierney at left back, and Turner in goal. So we could actually have quite a lot of wholesale changes from the starting 11 on Saturday. I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll go strong, just to get the group out of the way. If we finish top, it saves us 2 games, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we've got that rearranged fixture, so it's not like, because actually, if we pressed for a win tomorrow, it would take the burden off our trip to Bodo the following week. But actually, we've lost out on a game, so
we're still playing catch up. Yeah,
we're still playing catch up. We need the points on the board. It's still important, but like you say, Liverpool on Sunday is going to be massive. And we're still not talking about the Tottenham game.
We still haven't talked about the Tottenham game.
Are we going to do this thing? It could be an ongoing sort of joke where we do the post-Spurs pod and we don't actually talk about the Spurs game. So anyway, Liverpool on Sunday.
I suppose, yeah, because you were talking through the game. I interrupted you unusually, and you were talking about the song at the start. Absolutely, there was a flare outside Block 6 before the game. Like, I mean, obviously, I can't condone that, but it was fantastic. There was the glass stack. It was all kicking off. It was quite something, and I just, the things that you love to see that seem to be, unique to this iteration of Arsenal. Maybe definitely this season, but maybe sneaking back a little bit to the back end of last season. The song, obviously, from the last home game, North London Forever, just like brilliant, love it. It's like as it should be. They don't play it at the end. I'm a little bit, annoyed about that. They need to play it at the end as well. But anyway,
they do the karaoke mega mix for all.
They do, don't they? So like rolling out there. Which look, okay. That's right at the end of my list. I didn't realize I had a list until I started talking. So the song, the kind of relentless noise from the terraces, and it's lovely to see other like football aggregator sites and accounts, and so not Arsenal fans at all, tweeting scenes from the terraces at the Emirates. It's like, what is this?
No.
It's just like it's. I'd love to know, because I don't know the acoustics in the Emirates is pretty crap. We can't hear the away fans really, and I wonder, as an away fan this season, is it a different experience to previous seasons? I'd love to know if they actually were aware, or
especially with the Ashburton Army right next to them as well.
Yeah, so that's slightly different. Yeah, and they seem to be growing in numbers.
Yeah,
as well. There's a lot of black attired people in that section now. Yeah, look, I'm auditioning. Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't know. It's up to no good there.
It's a bit tragic.
Yeah, but there's the relentless noise and the energy and the actual the positivity in the terraces. That's really good. Obviously, scoring that goal was like mental. It was just fantastic.
Partey's hit.
Yeah, when we could see it right behind
where we were.
Yeah, it was perfect.
You just got the perfect view of the
because it went outside. It went outside the post, and then
delicious.
Like you just knew it was going in. Just the way he hit it, and you just knew that ball was curling in.
Well, I'm glad he hit it first time, because I've got absolutely fed up of when he's got the ball from the edge of the area and everyone's going shoot, and I'm going, don't shoot. Please don't shoot.
Now
first
shoot.
Time, but, the keeper can't react.
And apparently they had trained for that, because they knew Spurs had sit in the box and they'd practiced Ben White, square to party, shoot, top corner.
Well, I mean, Spurs.
But they'd actually practiced it.
Yeah,
so
good. And
that's
why not? Because
I like
Spurs
that.
just adopt that low block position, to use the modern sort of phrase, and hoped it. Spurs are crap.
They were crap,
I really
but
think
we were nervous as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Harry Kane penalty, it was a definite penalty. I think Xhaka made a mistake. I think there were a couple of, maybe 3 consecutive errors by Arsenal players.
Xhaka's touch, I didn't quite.
Yeah, no, I'd seen that on the time.
Watching the highlight, it was awful touch.
Yeah, I turned around to you and said Xhaka's messed that up. And to the extent that I didn't know who'd committed the foul, because I was still like, Xhaka, what have you done?
Gabriel, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And it was a penalty all day long. No complaints about that. And Kane scored his obligatory penalty against us.
If we don't give him penalties, he might not score.
No, I don't know. It's a funny. They'll never adopt that. No. But again, within 20 seconds.
Yeah, there's nothing.
10 seconds. Crowd back up again. You wouldn't. And I heard one of the players say, I don't know who it was. It might have been Ramsdale. That a comment again that it was like he said we felt like we'd scored a goal. That the noise in the stadium was that he said, but they acknowledged that every player that I've seen interviewed has acknowledged that there was a wobble for 10 minutes after that goal. And then 5 minutes before half time, got back into it again and created some chances. So that was good. And then the early second half goal was brilliant.
So good.
That red card was a red card all day long for me. Once I saw it again, all day long, red cards. He studs high up, above, into his leg. No attempt to not playing the ball at all. It wasn't a mistimed tackle. Knew exactly what it was doing. It was designed exclusively to injure the player. And interestingly, I don't know if you've seen it, Conte's reaction to the tackle. People, the mainstream media, let's call them that. I sound all Trump now. They've edited it to make it look like his reaction when he throws his arms in the air is a reaction to the red card. It's not. It's a reaction to Emerson Royal's tackle. He's furious with him because there's no need to do that, to commit that foul there, and it's right in front of him.
To his own goal.
Yeah, and everyone I've seen on TV who's talked about that tackle, they've all said it's a red card. No, I've only seen anyone say but it's the narrative that it changed the game is a nonsense.
I'm not having that at all.
Don't get me wrong, I'm pleased that they were down to 10 men, But for me, the clincher, and again, we talked about it before the game, Xhaka's third goal against Manchester United was relived in similar circumstances. That was, and I remember just jumping up and down like an idiot, shouting, "That's the goal! That's the goal! That's the goal!" like on repeat, like not to anyone in particular, but to everyone. And that was it. Like it was the first time. I don't know what minute that was. It was 60 something, I think. And it was game over.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
And it was game over. And we felt it was game over. And Conte making like 4 defensive changes to avoid humiliation was a thing of beauty. And believe it or not, like amongst, I don't know about your best mate's a Spurs fan. That sounds like a chant.
Haven't
my
heard
old man.
From him.
Right. So he, a few Spurs fans that I know, they've said that that's the most galling thing about the whole day was Conte's white flag.
Like you threw it in, yeah.
Yeah, that's because, and I said it to people at the game. I remember being 4-2 up against that lot at home, going into stoppage time, and still not winning the game. So that was it. He just like gave up. And I think Spurs fans, that he's lost a lot of Spurs fans by doing that, which is interesting because fans will keep quiet as long as the team's winning. If they're not happy, because they're not happy with the football. They're not happy. And he's getting a lot of questions. He's been quite defensive about, I don't want to lose 6 or 7 or 8 You know, that's he's been asked a lot about it in his press conferences and so on. But that, and then it was part, and the final thing I loved about Saturday was that nobody left, and this is new for Arsenal. It's like, and that's what helped the party atmosphere at the end.
Great.
And did Richard Keys complain about us celebrating? I don't know. I missed it if he did.
Don't know. It's not exactly someone I follow online.
No, I know.
If I can help it. But no, you're absolutely right. A lot of those things. We all sort of said the thing we're really worried about is Conte himself and his tactics. And there is an argument to be had that on a better day, because Son looks a shadow of his former self, and you know that there is an iteration of the Spurs team that clicks and does wallop us on the counter because we play quite cavalier, high line, and everything like that. But they just weren't at it,
but they could have scored. Richarlison should have scored.
Yeah,
that chance, and they had another chance where it was 2-on-1, and Son just overplayed the pass to Kane. It's like they would have been in. So, you know, all in the first half. That was.
But that's the thing. When they're playing so deep, they've got those three running: Kane, Richarlison, and Son. That unless that perfect pass comes off, it comes to nothing because the rest of the team are so far away.
Yeah.
They can't get there. So actually, their own tactics kind of undid them a little bit as well. And yeah, there was only really one winner on the penalty. I think I would say it was a red. I don't think it's as nailed on as.
Oh, the sending off, you mean, not the penalty, right?
Oh, the sending off. Yeah, the sending off. Yeah, I think the sending off's maybe not as nailed on as you think, because you know the laws of the game talk about force and things like that. But I mean, it's really cynical and it's really horrible. But
it studs up above the ankle. There's no, and he makes contact. He makes proper contact. There's no like letter of the law. That's a red card 10 years ago. 20 years ago, not so much. 30 years ago, definitely not.
Okay.
It's like when I saw it, like, because we weren't sure because we didn't see a replay of it, and we had mixed.
Other end of the pitch, right?
Yeah, we had mixed. We were getting mixed. Like certain people, even the BBC on the commentary said it might have been a bit harsh.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they did. They said the Spurs players were complaining about it. Yeah, but as soon as I saw it for myself, like when I watched the game again, like as soon as I got back in, I thought, oh, that's a red card. Like I don't know what they're complaining about. And then Match of the Day said the same thing. Even the Sky BT Sports Studios said the same thing. No complaints, it's a red card. And then the commentary team said it's a red card. Like so, it's just like I thought, no, it's a red card. What's he complaining about? He's an idiot.
I know Conte. You know, he did that brilliant thing that managers do, where he's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it because I'll get in trouble," kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think he was more annoyed that the ref didn't even review it. So I think he was a bit loath to talk about the actual challenge itself, and it was he kept referring to the process. And I think that's just him wanting to be seen to defend.
Yeah, the ref would only review it if the VAR official thought it was a clear and obvious error,
and it wasn't.
And it clearly wasn't. No.
But so, yeah, them throwing in the towel is an interesting one. I do wonder because Antonio Conte's famously got a bit of a blind spot when it comes to Europe and European competitions, and I wonder if those changes were made with the Frankfurt game in mind.
Works out well for him.
You know.
He's probably happy with a 0-0 draw away there, though, isn't he?
0-0 draw away in Europe's not the end of the world, is it? You know, in the group stage, a tight group as well that they're in.
And they're still second, aren't they? So, but they're only like 3 points between all four of them. So
yeah. So that's still.
But they've got to go to Marseille. That won't be easy.
No, hopefully,
the Arsenal B team will sort them out.
Kolasinac, Tavares, Guendouzi,
Sanchez.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Sanchez.
Yeah, he scored. He scored for them during the week, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What time's our kickoff tomorrow?
8 o'clock, I think.
Oh, sweet, fantastic! I'll only miss about 15 minutes.
I'll finish in time from tutoring, so that's good. I'll see the whole game.
Good stuff. So look, right. I'm looking at the weekend.
Yeah.
On Saturday, Chelsea home to Wolves. I mean, Wolves are not without a manager at the moment, so Chelsea, I can't. As stumbling as Chelsea are, and as undeserving their victory was against Crystal Palace, they'll still beat Wolves.
Well, put it this way: when City went 3-0 up, I decided to turn Man City Copenhagen off, and I switched over to Chelsea AC Milan, and Chelsea were ahead 1-0, and it was, it seemed like a fairly competitive game, but then it was as though Chelsea went up a gear, and Aubameyang scored. Reece James looked like the brilliant wing back that he is. So actually, I do wonder if Chelsea might get their act together a bit, and they'll become part of the conversation of those top teams.
Well, I mean,
they'll beat Wolves.
Yeah, they'll beat Wolves. And Man City are at home to. I'd love to know at the bookies how many people are putting a double-digit scoreline in. It's going to be 1-0, don't you?
It's harsh, isn't it? But I mean, yeah.
Haven't they beaten Southampton by 9 already?
Southampton lost 9-0 definitely to Leicester, and I can't remember the other one. There was another one, but I can't remember who it was. I think Spurs beat them 6-0 or 5-0 at some point. Southampton do that. Southampton have put a really good run together, and then just have the most outlandish defeat out of nowhere. They bought a lot of young players in, a lot of former City players, in fact, as well.
And then, City are going to win that and will be knocked off top spot. And then there's an interesting game, 5:30 kickoff on Saturday.
Spurs-Brighton.
Yeah, Spurs away at Brighton. Now, I'd be much more confident if Potter was there, but...
Well, De Zerbi, the guy who's taken over, he's all about front foot football. He's all about, take it to teams. And, well... It'll be a lively game.
Yeah. A 3-3 draw at Anfield's no bad result in your first game in charge. So, and Trossard seems to be on a bit of form. So, So I'm actually, drop points there. I'll take a draw now.
What I want to happen and what I think will happen are two different things.
So you think Spurs will win?
I think Spurs will win, and there'll be something jammy about it.
Brighton will hit the woodwork 8 times or something.
Something along those lines. I'm not even thinking it might even be the officials. It will just be a case of, they'll do their sucker punch.
On the officials, Harry Kane kicked Gabriel on the ground. No yellow card.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. In a second, late. We were. It was late in the second half, right down the other end. We couldn't see what had happened, but what exactly? You haven't seen it at all because nobody's made a big deal of it.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Harry Kane kicks Gabriel on the ground deliberately. Gabriel's on the ground. Harry Kane's not. He's claiming he's trying to get past him. He's committed the foul. The flags. The assistant's already raised the flag. It's a free kick to Arsenal, and he kicks him on the ground. Not a red card.
I haven't watched it is because our BT box was faulty, and so it didn't record the game, and then we ended up losing all our other recordings. So it's one of them. Just a few films and stuff, nothing to really cry about. But it did mean that I was reduced to match of the day on iPlayer for all my highlights. And like you said, that highlights actually pretty limited.
They didn't show. They won't show that because it's Harry Kane, England captain, walks on water. But of course, then he plays in Europe midweek, and he gets booked for nudging into a player. Like because it doesn't matter if he's England captain.
Yeah.
Did you see the English referee in the Champions League yesterday?
No.
I think it might have been Andy. Was it? I don't know. It might not have been Andy Taylor. I don't want to say. A Portuguese team and a German team. Oh, no.
Porto,
Leverkusen and Porto. Were they playing each other? Right. So it was down. Let's say it's Leverkusen. I don't know if it was, but German team down the other end. attacking Porto goal. Ball comes in. The Porto defender handballs it. Like, really obvious handball, but the referee's behind him, so he can't see it.
Huh.
Play Porto break. Down the other end. It's 0-0 at this point. It's 40-something minute. Down the other end. Score. Porto score. Celebration. VAR. It's a penalty. No goal. Down the other end. Is it Patrick Stick? Misses the penalty.
Oh.
Penalty is saved, in fact. Penalty is saved.
So all the right decisions, though.
Yeah, but like, oh, dearie me.
What drama.
Yeah. Sunday's games. Well, oh, right. Okay. United are away to Everton at 7:00.
Everton are
so
looking like a half decent outfit.
If we're looking for, like, this is my philosophy for this weekend. If we're looking for other teams to drop points along with us to make our inevitable drop points more palatable or less damaging, then Spurs away at Brighton and United away at Everton, that I'd settle for that. Chelsea home to Wolves, City home to Southampton, they're going to pick up points. It's great that we're actually talking about Man City and Chelsea in terms of our competitors at the moment. 8 games in, the caveat, obviously. But yeah, so right, go on then. Arsenal-Liverpool. The
annoying thing is they've had a fairly routine, as plucky as Rangers were. They never really laid a glove on Liverpool. So a confidence-boosting, routine Champions League victory was a bit annoying for them to have. 2 days before we play in the Europa League.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
But,
he changed, apparently, I didn't see any of it. I didn't watch it at all. Apparently, he changed his defensive setup, Klopp.
A bit. Tsimikas has come in, but that's because Robertson's injured.
I think because there were a lot of questions about that to him in the post-match press conference. And he did it. He said he did it for 2 reasons. One, because of how exposed they were against Brighton, but also because of the specific threat that Rangers had down one side. That's what he said. But I mean, shipping 3 goals at home to Brighton, and it could have been so many more in that first half.
Yeah, cool.
So that's interesting. So yeah, he might throw a little curveball in his team setup on Sunday, because we're playing really well. We're dangerous, and our goal threat is all over.
Well, this is the thing, but it feels like we did when we went into the United game.
Oh yeah, no.
They look vulnerable at times and in places. We're on good form, and our tails are up, but we never seem to get anything against Liverpool. Same way we never win at United.
Yeah, I said to people this afternoon that very thing. I said, I'll tell you what will happen on Sunday. We will play well. We will deserve to win. We will receive all the positive plaudits, but we will lose.
Yeah.
As sure as night follows day.
Yeah.
But then I did say, well, that's me conditioned as an Arsenal fan. If this iteration is different, as it certainly appears to be at the moment, 8 game what's it called? An 8-game selection, 8-game. It's too small a number to base too many conclusions on, or to draw too many conclusions from. But yeah, I don't like. I'm not going to go to the game on Sunday fearing it. I did on Saturday against Spurs, because I thought, well, no, we should be beating Spurs at home.
What I like about going to the games, of course, I mean, we're all football fans. The result is really important, but at the same time, there are occasions when the result isn't the biggest factor for me. And because, I'm still going to a lot of away games. I go to Leeds away the week after, and that's brilliant because it's a really brilliant atmosphere.
White hot atmosphere. Yeah.
And, it's about the trip. It's that bloody cliche thing like they have on, talent contests on TV.
It's journey.
It's about the journey, not the destination. But there is something about going to the Emirates now that is just enjoyable in and of itself.
Yeah.
Of course, it helps that we're winning, but it's kind of a feedback loop. And like you said, with the players who are responding, it's no coincidence that Arteta has made a point of even little things like the music selection. Pre-game, half-time. Coolio played at half-time, this weekend. And I've heard WWF music and all sorts of things. And then they're going through the hits at the end. They're trying to engender...
His very first press conference as Arsenal manager referenced the disconnect between the fans and the team.
Yeah.
It was always... He was clever. He knew he needed the fans on board. And as a rookie manager, he knew that he'd have to fight for that. Now, I was on the fence for a little bit. I certainly never, ever came down on an Arteta out kind of mood at all. I could see it was the purchases he made, like, not the summer just gone, but the previous summer. His players, it was that. And I thought each one of those makes sense. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Maybe he does know what he's doing. All right. Okay.
But what I like about this Sunday is, we'll all go to the game. And I don't think any, rational Arsenal fan will be expecting to win. But we will know that the team will give it a good go. The atmosphere will be good.
Yeah.
And,
we'll actually, there'll be no toxicity.
No.
There'll be nothing negative from the crowd at all. I think there's going to be more of an expectancy around the ground. I think it's a nervous expectancy for sure. But I do think that, and that's not our form. That's nothing to do with our form. That's to do with their form. And also the absence of Mane.
Well, it's turning into a bit of a thing.
But against us in particular.
Yeah.
Always scored, but always made an absolute nuisance of himself. And to the extent that he should have been red carded more than once against us, but never was. And so I think and Salah's form is obviously off. I know
they all like a goal against us, though. Firmino likes a goal against us. Salah likes a goal against us.
I'm sure Nunes and Diaz will as well.
Jota, look at the goal Jota got last season.
Yeah, is he fit?
He's back. He played against Rangers. Yeah,
fantastic.
See, there you go.
I hope.
But it's how busy we are in the midfield. If Partey plays and him and Xhaka and the others can press with the right intensity, because that's where Liverpool can be got at a little bit. So
defensively they've been awful.
I just be great, but what will be will be.
It's very profound and philosophical.
Well, I'm trying to enjoy it. I was loath to get too giddy and excited before.
Now you're all here for it.
We've just beaten Spurs, so I'm all for the excitement. But I'm not going to be too het up.
Can you imagine how you'll feel if we actually win?
Being at Old Trafford, that sort of checked our privilege at the door a little bit, because it was a case of, well, we did play well, but we had a couple of sort of boneheaded moments chasing the game.
Away to Brentford and home to Spurs, the two games that followed that, scored 6, conceded 1.
Yeah,
played imperiously throughout both games. That's maybe with a 10-minute dip after the Spurs equaliser. That's a pretty comprehensive response to that setback, which was an undeserved setback, which could have knocked us even more so.
And we can't complain too much, because that's the thing we said we needed to guard against. Because last year, one defeat turned into 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that killed us. So, defeats will happen as long as they don't turn into a run of defeats. Well, then actually, it could be really exciting.
Yeah, we're top on your birthday next week.
Oh, I'll just love it. I'll go.
Hang on, Kevin. Settle down, Kevin.
I might buy an entirely red suit just to go into work. Entirely red. And,
that's the kind of thing that might come back and bite you a little bit.
Do you know what? I wouldn't care, because it's been so long since I've been able to crow.
Well, my birthday's not till the end of May. So the last time we were top for my birthday, well, when we're top for my birthday, it's a league winning season. So,
We're definitely getting red suits.
Actually, for the parade, yeah, I'm on that. I'm on for that. Hang on, I've just got to check something. I'm checking something.
3rd of June is the FA Cup final.
Right, so the last league game is the day before my birthday, home to Wolves.
Ooh.
Hang on, let's make sure. Yeah, that's it. There's no league fixtures after 28th of May. So if we are, that's a Sunday, and it's half term.
Yes.
So when will the parade be though? That's the question.
Where?
When?
Well,
it'd be after the FA Cup final the next weekend because it'd be the double. No, okay.
The folly of football fans, eh?
I know.
Supposedly, it was announced. I don't know if this is true. It was just something that came up online earlier. But the coronation for Charles will be on the 3rd of June, which is FA Cup final day. They won't happen at the same time. No, not a chance. So something will move there.
Oh, they'll take the FA Cup final out of London, won't they? If nothing.
Oh, they'll just move it. They won't take it away from Wembley.
But Man City are going to win everything, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Well, I literally don't know how they lose. I just
Who drew? But they drew with Villa and Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Literally, they're going to look back on that and go, how did we draw?
They'll be the 4 points they've dropped this season.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous.
All season.
I was reading something earlier which was about the 10 best Premier League title winners until this team, make it a kind of moot point.
Yeah, Football 365. I read the same.
Right,
I read the same article. Yeah.
It was an interesting one because I understand why the Invincibles wouldn't necessarily be top. Their argument was, it was all about the wins and the winning runs and things like that. But, to go a whole season unbeaten, still.
Well, the fact that it's unparalleled. I think they had us 4th, didn't they?
4th, yeah.
No. But they love winding up. Well, I don't say that. I shouldn't say that. They like winding up the Arsenal fan base, don't they?
I like F365.
Yes.
But I'm not having the Invincibles 4th to see. I don't know who I'd drop out. I'd either drop out Chelsea's Mourinho title team.
Well, that's the thing is the Invincibles was done without money,
or Liverpool's
well.
recent one.
I think having any City and Chelsea. But again, they're not factoring in financial doping, are they? So,
no.
But not to have Leicester in it as well, I thought was a bit.
Yeah. In terms of romance, but
the argument that everyone else was crap.
Yeah, Spurs 3rd in a 2-horse race.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Nice.
No one, I love that. No one even digs at us because we were top for so long and let it go. But everyone picks up on Tottenham. It's just so good. And that Tottenham Get Battered song, I think I was asking everyone around me. I was like, what other team
have a song
goes all over Europe?
Universal, yeah.
Every other away support.
Well, the Spursiness thing really hit home when Chiellini was interviewed after a game against Spurs for Juve a few years ago now. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
He actually said, we all know what Spurs are like. Juventus scored 2 goals in the last couple of minutes and won the game after being dominated. He goes, well, so you always know you've got a chance. And I think he said Spursy, like Chiellini in perfect English, who's never lived in this country. And he was aware of kind of football culture enough in this country to know what Spursy was.
Crazy.
And I think that's highly amusing.
Hilarious.
Right. Okay. Shall we knock it on the head?
Yeah, good idea.
Come on, 44 minutes. Brilliant.
Right, we're getting good at this.
Oh, sorry, I got one more thing to say. Oh, here we go.
What's this?
All right. I read became aware of a bit of kind of contract information today surrounding a few players. It's really interesting. we're getting worried about Saliba, Martinelli, and Saka. Contracts up in 2024. So coming, next summer they'll be down to the 1 year to go. That's true, except we've got options with all three of them. So we can extend. Doesn't matter what they do. So we've got a 1 year option with Saliba and Saka and a 2 year option with Martinelli. So in actual fact, we've got like 2 and 3 years away there. So the urgency is removed somewhat. Because I was a little bit concerned about Saliba's response when he said, yeah, they're talking a little bit. It's like, well, that doesn't sound too positive or enthralling, promising. But
what will be interesting is the evolution of the process because other clubs have sold, whether it be at Liverpool, when Liverpool sold Coutinho and everyone went, oh, you can't sell Coutinho, he's really good. And then they bought Van Dijk and Alisson and won the league.
Yeah.
Well, there's a moment where Arsenal, because we've not been very good at selling players, as we know, and sorting all those things out. But with these particular crop of players, the huge potential to get big money and then invest in the team to improve other departments, that opportunity will be there, and it'll take a little bit of bravery, but also a little bit of common sense to know that bigger picture.
Okay. Which player then? Go on.
Well, I'm not saying either.
No, go on. You have to.
But like you say, in the next,
who do we cash in on
for the short term? If it had to happen now,
I've got one.
Have you?
Yeah.
If it had to happen now,
yeah,
I would probably cash in on Martinelli.
Yeah.
And invest in another central midfielder as competition for Partey.
Yeah,
because that's where the biggest drop-off is for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. Martinelli, and I love him, and and this season he's actually gone on another level, like he had to.
He needed to, contribute a bit more goals-wise than he has.
And you get the feeling that his ceiling could be particularly high.
Oh yeah.
And so at the back of my mind, but I'm thinking Saliba's more fundamental to the foundation of that team.
Important in the team, yeah.
Yeah. And Saka is what this Arsenal team is all about.
You've got to keep the icon.
The poster boy,
in a sense, yeah. But he represents all the values.
No, he's exactly what this Arsenal team is about.
Yeah.
Just a fantastic young man and a Rolls Royce talent on the pitch, and he's not hit the heights this season yet, which is just fantastic.
If he's playing this well and play better, it's just insane. Yeah.
And every team, someone did the analysis. Every team this season has put 2 players against him. Every single team, leaving space for
everyone,
the others. Right. Okay. 4 minutes after I said it the first time. That's not bad either. Cool. 10% leeway each way. Right. Okay. Right. So we'll see you back tomorrow evening.
After we meet Bodo Glimt for the first time, who beat Mourinho's Spurs or Mourinho's Roma, was it?
I don't know. I've no idea.
I'm pretty sure they beat.
I know they're Norwegian. That's it.
Yeah,
from north in Norway as well, high up.
Proper.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm going to end the broadcast. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Cheerio.
Ciao.